Good morning. It's Wednesday, April 21st. This morning I'm reading The Word for Every Day by Alvin Rogness. This one's called the Master of Ceremonies. An MC at any banquet is never the principal guest, nor the main speaker. As Master of Ceremonies, he or she is in fact only an announcer. He or she introduces someone and then steps aside. There are good MCs, and there are poor ones. The poor ones get in the way of the speaker. The good ones succeed in focusing on the speaker. John the Baptist was history's most notable MC for Jesus. He announced him, he introduced him, and then he succeeded in the greatest art of all. He succeeded in getting himself out of the way. His followers left him to follow Jesus. He moved off the stage into Herod's prison, and Jesus became the center. We too are the program as announcers. We too are on the program as announcers. We're to be the Lord's witnesses. We succeed to the degree that all eyes center on Jesus, on God. To God be the glory. We fail to the degree that we get in the way. We may not intend to get in the way, but it is always a lurking temptation. If someone says to us, "She is a wonderful Christian," or "He is a great guy," or "He is an eloquent preacher," we may be unintentionally have replaced the Lord as the center, and self-centered as we all are, we may be more pleased with the accolade than we should be. We may have failed to make the introduction and then leave the Lord alone to receive the glory. Churches have always been concerned about program or techniques for evangelism, even courses of study to train MCs. Programs and techniques, I must confess, leave me uneasy. I'm reminded of the mice who devised a short plan to outmaneuver the cat. They'd tie a bell around his neck and thereby be warned of his approach. It was a fine plan, but who'll bell the cat? Any plan for bringing Christ to the nations or to people one by one, depending on finding people who are willing to try to present him. Sometimes when we think we have bungled the introduction and we retreat in confusion, the Lord finds it easier to emerge as a center. In any event, we are the MCs, and we must make the announcement of his coming and his lordship. Nor need it always be in words. People may find the Lord looming up through some humble, selfless service that we give, which, like a finger, points to him. Then he quotes Acts 1, verse 8. "But you shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and to the end of the earth." I think about preaching, and I don't have any worries there about getting in the way. I know there are a lot stronger preachers than I am. One thing confuses me, though, is when I hear people say, "He or she is the greatest preacher in the country," or the top 10 preachers, and how do you measure that, and who's being honored and glorified? But even in our daily lives, too, sometimes it is. I'm more attracted to the people who are kind of behind the scenes. Work quietly and take very little accolade, but just just enjoy doing what they're doing, and their reward is seeing a job well done. They don't want to be front and center. You want to be. You want to do things well. You want to be. Sometimes you want to be recognized for the things you do. But sometimes it gets in the way. Sometimes humility is lost, and self-righteousness or self-aggrandizement take over, and the picture gets a little clouded. But it is our hope that we can continue to be witnesses, but make sure the finger's pointing to God, pointing to Christ, and not so much ourselves. To back away, like you said, and let Christ be the center. Let him be the focus of who we are and what we do, and and knowing that God is all in all and is the center of all that we do. So until tomorrow, have a peaceful day.